Maya stood near the glass door of the small coffee shop and waited for her breathing to slow down. The morning crowd moved like a fast river around her. The floor lightly shook with footsteps and the counter area kept filling with new people. She could not hear the sounds, but she could feel the busy energy in the air. Maya held a small notepad in both hands as if it was a shield. She had written her order in clear letters before leaving home. She told herself it would be simple today. She told herself she would walk in, show the note, smile, and leave with warm coffee. The line pushed forward and Maya followed it step by step. She watched mouths move and faces turn quickly. Some people laughed, some looked at their phones, and some stared at the menu like it was a test. Maya tried to stay calm by focusing on small details. The smell of roasted beans felt comforting. The warm light behind the pastry case made the cinnamon rolls look soft and golden. She imagined the taste and felt a small hope inside her chest. When it was her turn, Maya stepped to the counter and placed her notepad down gently. She pointed to the words with one finger. The note said coffee with milk and 1 cinnamon roll. The cashier was a young woman with tired eyes and quick hands. She glanced at the note and then looked at Maya's face. The cashier spoke fast, and Maya could tell she was asking something. Maya shook her head politely and lifted her hands to sign. She signed that she was deaf and that she had written her order. She kept her movements slow and clear, the way her teacher had taught her. The cashier frowned and leaned forward. She spoke louder, like volume could fix understanding. Maya could not hear, but she could see the impatience in her mouth and eyes. The cashier looked over Maya's shoulder at the line and then back at Maya. She tapped the counter as if rushing her. People behind Maya began shifting their weight. A man in a suit sighed and looked at his watch. A woman whispered something to her friend and gave Maya a quick glance. Maya's throat tightened even though she did not need to speak. Maya picked up the notepad and pointed again. She tried to smile, hoping kindness would smooth things over. The cashier looked at the note for a second and then asked another question. Maya guessed it was about the size or the type of milk. Maya tried to sign a simple answer, then pointed to the word milk. The cashier still looked confused. She waved a hand as if to say she did not have time for this. Maya felt heat rise to her cheeks. She hated this feeling, the feeling of being a problem in a place where everyone else seemed to fit. Maya's hands started to shake a little, so she held them together. She took a step back, ready to leave, because leaving felt easier than standing there while strangers grew annoyed. She had done this before, walking away hungry or tired just to avoid the heavy stares. Her eyes dropped to the floor, and the bright tiles blurred for a moment. She told herself it was fine. She told herself she could make tea at home. She told herself she should not cry in public. At a table near the window, Tom sat with his son Leo. Tom was in his early 30s, with a worn jacket and kind eyes that noticed small things. Leo was 6, with bright curiosity and chocolate on the corner of his mouth. Tom had been watching Maya since she entered. He recognized the careful way she moved. He recognized the notepad and the short pause people made when they realized communication would take effort. Tom's chest tightened, because he had seen that moment many times in his life. Tom had learned sign language years ago when his younger sister, Nora, lost her hearing after an illness. Their family had struggled at first, but Tom had refused to let Nora feel alone. He practiced signs every night until his hands stopped feeling clumsy. Nora used to laugh at his mistakes and then correct him with patience. She told him that effort mattered more than perfection. Later, when Nora moved away for college, Tom kept practicing because it felt like a promise he did not want to break. Even now, sign language lived in his hands like a second way of breathing. Leo followed Tom's gaze and leaned closer. He looked at Maya, then at the cashier, then back at Tom. He could sense tension even without understanding the details. Leo had grown up watching Tom sign at home, because Tom believed it was normal to communicate in different ways. Leo had learned simple signs like hello, thank you, and are you okay? Leo tugged Tom's sleeve and whispered a question. Tom answered softly and told Leo to stay seated for a moment. Tom stood up and walked toward the counter slowly. He did not rush because he did not want to startle Maya. He stopped a comfortable distance away and waited until Maya looked up. When her eyes met his, Tom raised both hands and signed hello. Maya froze like time had stopped. Her face changed in an instant, from guarded and embarrassed to surprised and hopeful. Tom signed again, "I can help you." Maya's lips parted slightly. For a second she did not move, as if she needed to make sure this was real. Then her hands lifted and responded. She signed "thank you," and her fingers moved faster than before because relief had loosened the tight knot inside her. Tom nodded and signed "What would you like to order?" Maya pointed at the notepad and signed "coffee with milk and 1 cinnamon roll." She added a small sign for medium, just in case. Tom understood. Tom turned to the cashier and spoke clearly. He repeated the order and added the size, then asked for regular milk. The cashier's shoulders dropped a little as if the situation suddenly became easy. She nodded and started preparing the order. Her face showed a quick flash of guilt, the kind that appears when someone realizes they judged too fast. Tom did not push her or shame her. He only stayed calm, because the goal was not to win, the goal was to help Maya get what she came for. While they waited, Tom turned back to Maya and signed, "You do not need to leave." Maya looked at him, and her eyes shined in a way that made her look younger. She signed, "People get angry." Tom signed, "Not everyone," and then added, "You deserve to be understood." Maya blinked quickly, trying to hold her emotions steady. She nodded once, strong and quiet. The cashier placed the coffee and the cinnamon roll on the counter. Tom checked the items and then slid them toward Maya gently. Maya picked up the warm cup and held it carefully, feeling the heat through the sleeve. She smiled, a real smile that reached her eyes. It was the kind of smile that comes when a hard morning suddenly turns soft. She signed "Thank you" again, but this time her shoulders were relaxed. Tom shook his head and signed, "I am glad you are here." Maya looked down at her notepad and then back at Tom. She signed, "My name is Maya." Tom signed, "I am Tom," and then pointed his thumb toward the table and signed, "That is Leo." Maya glanced at the boy, who waved with both hands and smiled. Maya laughed silently and waved back. In that small exchange, something simple and bright began to form, like a light turning on in a room that had been dim for too long. Maya held her warm cup close to her chest and felt safe for the first time that morning. The coffee shop no longer felt like a place full of sharp eyes and heavy pressure. It felt softer now because someone had reached out in a way she understood. Tom stood beside her and waited so she would not feel rushed. Leo looked at her with open curiosity and a gentle smile. Maya smiled back and nodded at him. Maya signed slowly and clearly that she was happy someone knew her language. Tom read every sign with care and nodded. He signed that he had learned for family and that it helped him see the world in a wider way. Maya's hands moved with quiet excitement as she shared that she had been deaf since she was young and that every day was a new challenge but also a new chance to stay strong. Tom listened with respect and Leo watched their hands move like a soft dance. They moved to the table near the window together. Maya placed her coffee down and sat across from Tom and Leo. The sun came through the glass and made the table glow. Leo slid his chair closer so he could see Maya better. He tried to sign hello again and laughed when his fingers felt awkward. Maya showed him the right way and he copied her with focus. This small moment made her feel warm inside. Maya shared that she lived nearby in a small apartment and worked at a library. She loved books because they did not need sound. She said stories were her favorite place to visit. Tom smiled because he loved stories too. He told her that Leo loved picture books and that they read together every night. Leo nodded proudly. Maya signed that she used to read to children at the library and that she missed it since fewer people came now. Tom could see the gentle sadness in her eyes. He signed that she was welcome to visit the local school where he sometimes helped. He said children there would love her stories. Maya looked surprised and then hopeful. She signed that she would like that very much. Leo clapped softly and nodded as if the idea made perfect sense to him. Maya then signed that moments like the one at the counter made her feel small. She said many people did not have patience. Tom signed that patience was something the world needed more of. He shared that being a single dad taught him how to slow down and really see people. Maya nodded with understanding. She could tell Tom had a gentle heart shaped by experience. Leo stood up and walked around the table. He held up his hands and signed "Are you okay?" in a slow, careful way. Maya laughed softly and signed "Yes, thank you." Leo smiled wide and sat back down. Tom watched this with a proud heart. He saw his son learning kindness through small actions. Maya felt brave enough to share more. She signed that her parents lived far away and that she often felt lonely. She said days could pass without anyone speaking her language. Tom listened closely. He signed that loneliness was heavy, but it did not have to be permanent. He said people sometimes found each other in unexpected places like coffee shops. Maya looked at her cup and then back at him. She smiled slowly. Outside the window, buses moved and people hurried past. Inside the small space, time felt gentle. Maya felt like she had stepped into a quiet bubble where she did not need to fight to be understood. She told Tom that she had almost left before he came. Tom signed that he was glad he stood up when he did. Leo nodded seriously as if this was an important lesson. Maya asked about Leo using simple signs. Tom told her that Leo was curious about everything. Leo showed her a drawing he had made in his notebook. It was a house with a big sun and 3 stick people. He pointed at them and signed "This is me, this is Dad, this is you." Maya felt a soft warmth in her chest. She did not expect to be part of a picture today. Tom laughed gently and ruffled Leo's hair. Maya signed that Leo was kind. Tom signed that kindness grew when it was shared. Maya felt a small tear, but she held it back with a smile. She did not want sadness to touch this moment. The cashier looked over once and saw them all sitting together. Her face softened. She seemed to realize that what had felt like a delay before was actually a moment that mattered. Maya noticed and did not feel upset anymore. The warmth of understanding had already covered the hurt. Maya finished her coffee slowly. She signed that she needed to go to work soon. Tom nodded and signed that he was glad to have met her. He wrote his number on a napkin and showed it to her. He signed that she could text if she wanted to talk or visit the school. Maya took the napkin carefully as if it was something precious. Leo waved both hands again and signed "Bye." Maya waved back and signed "See you." Tom walked her to the door. Before she left, Maya turned and signed "Thank you for seeing me." Tom signed "Always." Maya stepped outside into the busy street with a light heart. The world still moved fast, but she did not feel lost inside it. She held the napkin in her pocket and felt hope grow inside her. For the first time in a long time, she felt like she had found a small place of belonging. Maya walked down the street with a soft smile still resting on her face. The air felt lighter than it had earlier. She held her bag close and kept touching the napkin inside her pocket. It reminded her that the kind moment in the coffee shop had really happened. She did not feel invisible anymore. She felt seen in a way that stayed with her. When Maya reached the library where she worked, she placed her things down and took a deep breath. The tall shelves filled with books made her feel calm. Books had always been her quiet friends. She began her work by organizing returned books and helping visitors with notes and small signs. Her mind kept returning to Tom and Leo. She thought about their smiles and how easy it felt to talk with them. During her lunch break, Maya sat by the window with a simple meal. She took out the napkin again and looked at the number written on it. Her fingers traced the letters slowly. After a few moments, she picked up her phone and typed a short message. She wrote that she was happy to meet them and hoped they had a good day. She pressed send and waited. A few minutes later, her phone vibrated. Maya saw a message from Tom. He wrote that he and Leo were happy too, and that Leo kept talking about the lady who spoke with her hands. Maya smiled wide. She replied that Leo was kind and that she hoped to see them again. Tom sent a small smile and words and said they would like that. As the afternoon passed, Maya felt a new energy in her steps. She greeted people with more confidence. Even when someone did not understand her, she did not feel as small as before. She knew now that there were people who would take the time to listen in their own way. After work, Maya went home and changed into comfortable clothes. She made tea and sat on her small sofa. The room was quiet but not lonely. She picked up a book but found her thoughts drifting again. She wondered about Leo and what kind of school he went to. She wondered about Tom and how he managed life as a single dad. Her phone buzzed again. Tom had sent another message. He said that Leo wanted to know if Maya liked animals. Maya smiled and replied that she loved cats and birds. Tom said Leo loved dogs and that maybe one day they could visit the park together. Maya felt a warm feeling rise in her chest. The idea of spending time together felt natural and safe. Days passed and small messages turned into daily talks. Maya and Tom shared simple stories about their lives. Maya told him about growing up and learning to be strong in a world that did not always understand her. Tom told her about raising Leo and trying to be both mom and dad. They both felt like they were learning from each other. One afternoon, Tom invited Maya to visit the school where he helped. Maya agreed with excitement. When she arrived, Leo ran to her and hugged her gently. The children in the room watched with curiosity. Tom explained in simple words that Maya used her hands to talk. The children listened and then tried to copy her signs. Maya laughed silently as they tried their best. Maya read a story to them using signs and pictures. The children were quiet and focused. They watched her hands and faces as if they were watching a movie. Maya felt a joy she had not felt in a long time. She felt useful and valued. Tom watched from the side with pride in his eyes. After the visit, Tom thanked Maya for coming. Maya signed that she was thankful too. Leo said he wanted her to come back again. Maya nodded happily. As weeks went by, Maya became part of their lives. They went to the park and shared simple meals. They laughed and talked in ways that did not need sound. Maya taught Leo more signs and Leo taught her silly games. Tom watched them and felt his heart grow full. One evening, as they sat together on a park bench, Maya signed that she used to feel alone but not anymore. Tom signed that sometimes people find family in new ways. Maya looked at Leo and then at Tom. She felt something warm and safe inside her. The sun went down slowly, painting the sky with soft colors. Maya knew her life was changing in a gentle way. She was not just a woman struggling to order coffee anymore. She was someone who had found connection and care. Maya woke up with a calm feeling in her heart. The light from the window touched her room in a gentle way. She felt thankful for the people who had entered her life. She thought about Tom and Leo and smiled as she prepared for the day. Maya met Tom and Leo at the park later that morning. Leo ran toward her with joy and held her hands. He had learned many signs now and showed her a new one he practiced. Maya clapped softly and smiled at his effort. Tom watched them with a warm look. They sat together under a large tree. Maya shared a small notebook filled with drawings and signs. Leo flipped through the pages with wide eyes. He tried to copy the signs and laughed when he made mistakes. Maya corrected him kindly, and Tom felt proud of both of them. Maya signed that she felt happy and safe when she was with them. Tom signed that they felt the same. Leo leaned against Maya and held her arm. This small action made Maya's heart feel full. They talked about small dreams and simple hopes. Maya shared that she wanted to read more stories to children. Tom shared that he wanted Leo to grow up kind and open. Leo said he wanted everyone to be friends. Maya laughed softly and nodded. As the day went on, they walked through the park together. Birds flew above them and leaves moved with the breeze. Maya felt peaceful. She did not feel like she had to hide or struggle to be heard. She felt like she belonged. Maya later invited them to her apartment for tea. Tom and Leo came with smiles. Maya showed them her favorite books and small plants. Leo touched everything with curiosity. Tom helped make tea and felt at home. They sat together and shared stories in their own way. Maya signed and Tom read her hands with care. Leo watched and learned. The room felt warm and full of gentle energy. Maya looked at Tom and signed that she was thankful for him standing up that day at the coffee shop. Tom signed that sometimes one small moment can change many things. Maya nodded with a soft smile. As evening came, they sat by the window and watched the sky change colors. Maya felt a deep peace. She knew her life had taken a new path. She was no longer alone in her quiet world. When it was time for Tom and Leo to leave, Leo hugged Maya tight. Maya hugged him back. Tom signed that they would see her soon. Maya signed that she would be waiting. Maya closed the door and leaned against it with a happy heart. She looked around her room and felt gratitude. She had found something special in an unexpected place. Maya went to bed that night feeling loved and hopeful. She knew the future would have challenges, but she also knew she had people who cared. Her smile stayed as she drifted into rest. In her quiet world, a new kind of sound had been created. It was the sound of connection and warmth that did not need ears to be heard.